Welcome to Comical Recovery with your host, with the most trauma, comedian Jessica Byrne, creator of the upcoming cartoon Bud Ease, and I don't really recall. Oh yeah, what else do I say, guys? I tell you about the comedy contest that I win. Got a new set coming up, but I'm not ready yet, but I'm getting there. We're trying to, me and my personalities, we're trying to get this thing on the rails again, okay? Could you tell with the music and the intro and the whatnots? I hope so. That's what we're trying to do around here. Getting off the rails is not the topic today. In fact, the topic today is going to be choosing your potential. Once upon probably TikTok, I think someone said to me that women choose men based on the potential that they see in them. And I thought, what an interesting concept. And I don't see anything necessarily wrong with that, I guess. But I was thinking, what if men and women alike, what if we chose our potential? Mind-blowing concept, isn't it? I thought so. So although I am trying to get this on the rails again, that doesn't mean that it's on the rails. Because occasionally, things twist and turn in life. And we are not always working at our highest potential. I mean, really, are we ever? Because our highest potential should always be something that we strive for, at least in my opinion. That's what I'm viewing it as. And so, I guess the thought process here is, what does that look like and what does that take? And I think for me, at least, it starts with knowing the things that I love, the things that I enjoy pursuing, stuff that I don't have to think about because I'm enjoying doing it so much that I forget about time. Time almost stands still if I love something that much. I certainly don't think about it. And for me, that's writing and comedy, and both of those things are wrapped up. Guess it's kind of cartooning, although that is a little more frustrating to me because my perfectionism wants to step in. But part of seeing your potential is seeing all of the different facets of you, all of the only thing I can think to say is the shadow parts, because all of us have an inner critic, at least I do. Maybe you don't. You're blessed if you don't. Or maybe you're cursed. Because I have discovered that my inner critic has a job if I allow it. So the job that she is assigned is typically to review and watch or listen to comedy that I've already produced or occasionally podcasts. A lot of times I don't listen to them. I just ship them on out to you guys. You're welcome. And the first thing that my inner critic got hired for was when I was taping myself doing stand-up. Because it was a place where it was healthy for me to criticize myself. Not in a bad way, but in a way of noticing the details of what can be improved in my routine. So, when I'm not speaking into the microphone clearly and a word gets missed. For podcasting, it'd be things like cursing because I want this to be published everywhere. There's certain rules that I don't necessarily want to break because it opens up a wider road for me to walk down to grab more opportunities. So seeing the potential in all of the parts of yourself creates more opportunities. I recently went to a meeting and they talked about character opportunities. I'm not sure if I had mentioned it yet, so I'm mentioning it now. I just thought that was so interesting how we can change words and give it a new meaning, because it's going to be in my character, these defects, right? But they're new opportunities if I allow them to be. It's an opportunity for me to see where I might need improvement or growth or change. So today and this weekend, I'm celebrating 3 years of sobriety. I haven't picked up a drink or done any crazy drugs in this amount of time, and we celebrate with birthday meetings, and it's been a very emotional and challenging third year for me. And I've learned and grown so much from all these different challenges, and I take them as opportunities. But in my sobriety process, I've heard a lot of things about killing your ego or ego death or what have you. And in this year, in this TikTok year, I followed this very young spiritual guide, we'll say, teacher, if you will. And she talks about how there is no such thing as ego death. And I found that to be very interesting because it's much more helpful for my ego to not die. There's opportunities that I need my ego. Stand-up comedy, when I'm on stage, I need my ego. If I am applying for an acting gig, I need my ego. But when my ego steps in and does negative things, like tries to entice me to drink, how do I react? And I react as if my ego or whatever, my inner alcoholic, whatever it is a friend with really, really awful ideas. And so we all have that friend or maybe a sibling or whatever, whomever, that has just horrible ideas. We don't necessarily say mean things to that person. We just kind of laugh it off, or at least for me, I laugh it off and I say, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's hilarious, but it's not what I'm going to do. And I think I've had more success by staying away from a drink, by listening to that inner addictive side, the addict brain, then I have to shun it. Because when I ignore my inner addict, it starts to get more sneaky and insidious. It slides into the driver's seat that is running my life. And of course, I have more tools and people in my life to help me with that kind of thing. But it's good to have that for myself, because there are moments, at least in these 3 years, in this last year, that I've had a lot more time that I couldn't get a hold of someone to help me, or I didn't want someone's opinion. And I had to sit and journal and figure it out for myself. Because when we're going on this journey of choosing your own potential, not everyone is going to have the right advice for you, even if they are on your side for other good things. So there are a lot of people in my circle that are rooting for me for my sobriety, but I don't have anyone in an industry of well, I shouldn't say that. I do have entertainment industry people, and I do have comedians now, but in my sober circle, I don't. So they can't give me advice or navigate the territory of my career. And until you find those groups of people, or you discover within yourself what it is that you love, most people go with the conditioned thought of, you should get a part-time job, you should do this, you should do that, and whatever society standards are. But potential doesn't work that way. Potential isn't about standards. It's about something so much deeper. It's about the things that just come naturally to you, and that sometimes can go against what I was conditioned to believe, for sure. You know, I was told growing up, you have to do one thing at a time. You have to focus all of your energy on one thing at a time. That's how that works. Well, I have ADHD. It is not how that works. I need multiple projects to keep my engagement in all of these different things, because I get bored. And when I get bored with one thing, or my mind can't focus on, studying and reading for this podcast or whatever topic I have going on, drawing comes in handy. In the mornings, I like to get that out of the way, or late at night, because I don't have the attention span to sit and read or write. And no one else can tell me those things, because no one else knows what lights up my soul. And that's what choosing your potential is all about. It's about things that come easy and naturally. The other thing I was conditioned to believe is, if it's worth having, you have to work hard. Everything worth having is hard work. Don't get me wrong. You do have to put work into anything that you're passionate about. You have to spend the time and the energy. There's studying and research and scheduling that should go on if you're going to reach your potential. Because hard work will pay off bigger than just being talented if you don't put any effort into it. But that stopped me from pursuing the things that I was good at, because I thought, well, this is coming too easy for me. Doors are flying open. Opportunities are abundant. So I must be doing something wrong. This must not be my path. It's just too easy. It must not have any ability to last long, or, whatever. So I think this is why some people say, keep things to yourself. Because sometimes other people's opinions are discouraging from the path that's meant for you. The other thing that happens when you're choosing your potential is you can tend to hear that you're selfish or you're self-centered. And I disagree with that statement too. Because when you focus on something that brings you joy, you have more abundance of joy in your heart and in your soul, and the ability to inspire others or share that joy or share that inspiration of how you discovered what you're passionate about with others so that they can discover what they're passionate about. And I've found that being on the journey, whether it be sobriety or comedy or sharing my counseling or life experiences on this podcast, whatever it is, me sharing those joyful moments have helped inspire more people than me keeping that to myself. Because I could easily say, well, I don't want to put myself out here. I don't want to expose myself to strangers or even to friends. I don't want to share the raw stuff that I'm going through. I don't want to share that I'm an alcoholic. But I think exposure, for me at least, is good. It's good. It helps me not hide who I authentically am. And it's so gratifying to see people share with me that what I am sharing is helpful or inspiring or encouraging. So I don't find it selfish. I found it to be self-care. Choosing your potential can be a little bit scary. It can stir jealousy in others. And if you're on this journey of self-discovery and self-improvement, I have to say, your garden of friends will be weeded eventually. It should be weeded. Because not everybody in your circle is going to be in the cheerleading squad. I can't remember the speaker's name, but she talks about having people in nosebleeds. You know, there's only a few people willing to get into the ring and fight with you. And as you grow into yourself, into your passions, into your potential, your original circle starts to shed and maybe gets a little smaller. But as you find your people, it starts to get a little bigger. And I today have many circles. I have my sobriety circle. I have my emotional workshop people circle. I have my comedy circle. I have a new improv circle. I have an acting circle. I have a voiceover circle. I have so many awesome circles of people that inspire me and teach me different things along the way. And I say this because this journey of self-improvement, this journey of finding your passion, this journey of choosing your potential is not an easy journey, but it's worth it. I'm not sure who the spiritual teacher is that says, you know, life is painful, but suffering is optional. But you can't avoid the pain of life. You can't avoid how other people act or respond. It's just going to happen. There's nothing any of us have power over as far as another human being or life circumstances go. But we are the captain of our ship. We get to navigate it. And I promise you that the people that don't support you in your journey on your potential to find your passion, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, they're not meant to be on the journey. They're not meant to level up with you. They're not able to help in that path. That's what leveling up's all about. That's what sitting down and doing the work's all about. Even to find your passion, in my experience, takes work. It takes sitting with yourself, asking tough questions, being aware. And you can't always do that when people are clouding your vision or taking your attention and energy. Relationships can do that. And I'm not talking about romantic relationships, although that is a part of it as well, that can hinder or lift you up. But even relationships with family, mostly relationships with family. And that's a journey in itself when you come from a place of conditioning or conversations and ingrained thinking that teaches you one way. And you have to untangle all of that. And then even put up some walls against that so that you can move forward on your path. And like I said, it's totally worth it. So, how do you find out how to discover your potential, Jessica? Well, that's a great question. I have no idea. Just kidding, I do. And it's going to be what I always say, guys. It's going to be writing, because that's what I like to do. But if you don't like to write, you can talk to yourself. And I know that society tells us that that's crazy, but I'm here to tell you a couple of things that are going to be crazier. Not only should you talk to yourself, but you should do it in the mirror and look yourself straight in the eyes. Now, on this journey, I know it does sound crazy, doesn't it? I don't care. Yeah, laugh it up. On this journey, when you're doing your mirror work, looking yourself in the eyes, talking to you, first of all, you're going to feel really silly, okay? You're going to feel very foolish, and that's okay. Then you're probably going to laugh at yourself, and that's even better. And then hopefully you're going to notice little nuances and facial features and maybe things that don't align. And that's how you build a relationship with you. There you go. Big secret. That's how you build a relationship with you. But however you discover what your potential is and how to become your friend, because that's what this journey is all about, how to become your own friend. You start to appreciate the time that you have with you, and you start to value it so much that no human power can get in the way of your relationship with you. And that is how you're going to truly discover your own potential. Because no matter what or when you discover what you want to do, what you're passionate about, what you're good at, there's one cheerleader that you have to have throughout your entire life, and it's you. And talking it out, if you don't like to write, is a great way to discover that. And my first thought is, what if there's someone around, Jessica? Well, then that's the first thing, is that you need to find some alone time, guys. Alone time is clutch, as the youngs say. It's clutch. Do they still say that? I don't know. It's important. That's what clutch, I think, means. Whatever. I don't care. It's important, okay? It's important to have alone time, because that's the only way you're going to discover yourself. If you can't sit alone with you, it's going to be a very frustrating life. Well, why would you say that? Well, I'll tell you why I'd say it. Because eventually, if you constantly cater to everyone else, your cup is going to be empty. You're not going to know what fills it up and brings you joy. There's probably going to be some depression that follows, regret, resentments. And I'm here to tell you, I did that for 20 years, and that is not a way to live. So today, I say, join a group, read a book, find what brings you joy, not other people per se, but activities that you can do alone that make time fly or stand still, bring you joy, put a twinkle into your eyes. That is your passion, and that is where your potential lies. So, find your potential. Choose you. And the rest will follow. You'll have the perfect mate that lifts you up and shares those passions with you. You'll have a supportive family. It may not be blood, but they might be in a different realm of your existence. Open-mindedness is key. Willingness is also another key. And I promise that when you get older, you will look back on your life and be glad that you chose your potential and you didn't lose yourself in what other people think that you should do. Happy January, everyone. I love you all. Thank you for joining me in another episode of Comical Recovery with your host and friend, comedian Jessica Byrne. Remember, laughter is the best medicine, and I hope I tickled your funny bone, but if nothing else, I gave you an inspirational speech, and I will see you soon. Love you all. Bye for now.